London is hard. It's really hard because it's really busy, and sometimes even with the fact to be in a city where are more than 9 million of people, sometimes you feel like you're just a number and you're not that important. I remember the first day I needed to go to Primark to buy a white shirt because I was starting to work in a pub, and I found myself in this massive Primark with a lot of people. I know that I just need to buy a shirt, but I don't know where I am. And now it's ridiculous because I go there almost every week, and it's even a small Primark. If you're feeling like you're just a number in a really big city, you need to make yourself count. You need to become part of the puzzle. The best place is when I've been to a restaurant at the top of the Shard. You can see the whole London from there, and the Tower Bridge seemed really, really little from there. Can I roll a cigarette?
Yeah.
I'm saying stupid things that everyone can say.
No, it's
not prepared.
It's really interesting.
Commuting sucks. There's lots of things to dislike about commuting. I think people can be ridiculously rude, pushing to try and get a seat in the mornings. There's always one idiot that has his music up too loud, annoying everyone. Some people's bodily hygiene has a lot to be desired for. It's not difficult to put a bit of deodorant on or jump in the shower before you head to work. People that don't have the ticket ready or their Oyster card ready when they're approaching the barriers, I mean, that could be the worst, actually. I mean, it's not like the barriers just surprise you. You've had all journey to prepare to get your ticket ready, and then, you slow everyone down behind you. The commute can be made better by ensuring that people wash before they get on the train, having longer trains, having a seat for everybody. I think there should be singing carriages. I think there should be dancing carriages, and I think work should be cancelled altogether, really, and then we just get on the train back home straight away.
I wanted to be a driving instructor as well. I didn't follow that through.
No, they would have passed. They would have been going
I
on.
did apply for John Lewis, but they didn't accept me. So I was all pissed off after that. They said I wasn't of the right calibre. So I picked up a chair, threw it through a window and walked out.
Yeah, no, you've only worked at Sainsbury's. That is weird.
And I'm sort of usually the ringleader of all the fun.
You mean you're the one being bullied?
Got a fiddler.
Oh.
He fiddles. The paperwork, who gets the best jobs. 37 years I've worked there now.
37 years.
Was there an echo, is there?
Wish you were at work today.
So why?
Do us all a favour.
Have a bit of banter with a fiddler.
I grew up in Tunisia, and Tunisia is a third world country, so we don't really have like anywhere to go out. We don't have any cinemas, we don't have any restaurants, we don't have any cafes, we don't have any like shopping malls or anything. Literally, like all what we did was just spend time at home. That's what people do back there. They just watch TV. They just, I don't know, just talk to the neighbors. Somehow, well, surprisingly, I find my life here more limited than my life back at home. And I think that's because here in the UK, I feel like everything costs too much. It costs too much just to go somewhere, to take the bus to go somewhere. It costs too much for food. It costs too much for everything, really. So it's like, I find my life very limited here compared to back at home. I guess if you were rich, then you'd be able to enjoy life more here in the UK. But the thing that I liked more about back home is that even if you were poor, you didn't have money, you'd still be able to enjoy everything that was there, even though there wasn't much at all, but you'd still be able to enjoy everything there without having all these worries in your mind, about paying rent, paying for transport and so on.
So my ideal home would be, I don't know, the sound of a creek in the background, autumn leaves falling.
Uma casa sem divisões.
Medium to big house, maybe.
Com 5 quartos.
10 bedrooms house.
Escritório.
A room with just pillows so I could sleep there.
Uma lavandaria enorme onde eu pudesse pôr lá a minha tralha toda. Não havia quarto, não havia cozinha e não havia sala.
Room for my gaming cave.
A room full of duvets.
Somewhere where the sun would shine.
A room full of pillows, duvets, so I can make a fort and a pillow which make it like a castle.
Cozinha ultra moderna. E assim do tamanho da sala.
So I have enough space to store my food.
A room to eat, a room to just drink, various rooms for various activities.
Big space, so we have enough space to do hide and seek, pillow fights. Oh, and a big garden too.
Com piscina. Ginásio.
For water fights, laser tag.
I'd be out of the way enough that I wouldn't have to, deal with city life.
Invite people to sleep over.
Anyone can stay and they can feel comfortable and safe around me.
My life? Oh, I'll tell you about my life, man. It's gonna hurt. It might hurt you and hurt a lot of other people. Yeah? So, my life is something I have to keep it to myself. My life is a life that goes all around. 10 kids, 7 different baby mums. Mine's them be? They're still mine. Even though some of them walk and get married, they're still mine. I love them so much. You understand? If I could have all the women in the world for myself, I would keep all of them for myself. Some people say I'm a womanizer and I'm a this and that, but no, always I love a lot of women. I love them. That's why I have so much kids. Plenty in-laws. The big family. I would like it to be bigger, but right now, the way how things are getting now expensive and getting a bit, So I just cut it short. 10 is enough for now. I'm there. That's why I'm hustling, man. I'm hustling there to make sure that they're all right. But I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm a happy, blessed, loving person.
I'm vegetarian, but I'm the manager of a burger restaurant. I think only a few very, very lucky people can afford to do something they like, but it's difficult for me. If I wasn't vegetarian, it would be much easier. If I had to say why I'm vegetarian, I was 12, 13 years old. So I was staring from my window and I just saw this scene, 2 guys bringing this massive pig. They just shot him in the head with one of these hand pistols. Oh my God, it does some unnatural sounds is unbelievable. So I remember staring with my sister from the window and being like, is this what happened? So something changes. When you stop eating for a while, it's like a vampire that hasn't got blood for a while. It's like, oh, I'm changing. Now I like flowers. But I just wish people would try to be a bit more responsible. Is by far the biggest source of destruction in the world. The fact that this need of eating animals constantly and the breeding process, it's terrible for the earth.
My halls were in Hackney, which is it's an interesting area because you can walk down a street which would be kind of grotty with closed down shops, and like loads of rubbish out of the road. But then you make a turn, and then you've got like a row of, you know, beautiful Victorian houses. Sometimes you get some really nice graffiti, and then other times you'd have to walk through like a dingy alleyway. I was so excited to get in there, but it was just crazy small, like cloakroom, you know, janitor's cupboard. Had a window, but it also faced like a row of windows as well, so I felt like everyone could like see into my room.
They used to collect fluff. My mum said that one of my aunties would like to have us there for a weekend, so we went and stayed with this auntie, and we slept in her bed with her as well, and I got stuck in the middle, and it was so, I remember it being so hot, and she had this really fluffy blanket which I picked all the fluff off. We used to save fluff for some reason, I don't know why. My sister and I used to have a whole ball of it from different places that we'd been picking fluff off for blankets and clothes, I suppose. We also used to collect beads. We had all different sorts of beads, old necklaces and things. We used to take apart, and we used to keep all the precious ones in matchboxes with a bit of cotton wool, like crystals or diamonds, which we thought were diamonds. And the other ones we'd keep in a tobacco tin. You take them to school and swap them with other girls. So you could have this diamond for 2 of them and 2 of those beads, which was almost like, I suppose, treating it like money, really.
Well, living on the river is clearly very different from living in a city, which is where I was brought up. I suppose the main thing that the difference is that you're just much more closer to the elements. In a city, you know, you're always insulated from its effects, whereas living on the river, you're constantly checking the weather. Flooding being the obvious problem. It's remote. You can have days where you just don't see anyone. There's certain things that, because of its remoteness, that it's often used for, say, military exercises. Although I've yet to actually see them. I've heard that they wear camouflage. So whether they're actually there or not, I can't tell you. I personally haven't seen any.
You don't need planning permission at all, I think, in Romania. There's Soviet blocks that ever since sort of the revolution, they've knocked down walls in the apartments and everything like that. So when earthquakes happen, flats are basically weaker, probably because of people making the renovation. When it came to home, there wasn't really a place that I could call home. But it was always where my parents are. That's where my home was and my family. So, but then when we came here, we did sort of grew apart from most of my family. I think over the years I've become sort of detached with my family as I grew older, and my Romanian has progressively gotten worse to the point where I don't remember a simple phrase.
When I was about 6 or 7, I can just about remember back then, we had a cellar in our house where the gas meter was. You had to put 50p in the gas meter. I used to get asked to put 50p in the gas meter to go down in the cellar, but I always thought there was ghosts in the down in the cellar, so I didn't used to go down there. But when I got older, I realised it was just obviously in my imagination. The cellar was where we had a big fridge freezer. My friends used to have a den down there, and we used to play games and pretend we were secret agents. Also had a coal chute, so you could open the coal chute and actually look outside the street with your head.
A big part of the home that I want to create is a home where people feel very free. I think it's important that home is very much connected with nature. I'd want to have a really big garden, or we go to the park a lot, or even what I would really love is that we have chickens in the backyard and we grow our own eggs and we get really in touch with nature, kind of make that a part of our lifestyle somehow, and also use very natural products in our cooking and have lots of plants in the house, grow herbs in the garden as well. Oh my goodness, I would love to be completely surrounded by the forest or the nature and the palm trees, where you kind of live in kind of like a wooden house, be next to the sea, have this beautiful hot weather all the time, and go surfing in the ocean. Not that I've been surfing before, but I just think I would love surfing. Yeah, maybe some dancing.
So when Morgan and I first started talking, we established that we both played Xbox One. And we never got around to playing Xbox One until around us dating for 2 months. And Morgan had bought Rainbow Six Siege, which is the only game that I play on Xbox. And to play that game, you have to talk to your teammates. So at this point, my parents didn't know that we were dating, so I couldn't be like, hey babe, I love you babe. I couldn't say any of that. So we made code words for saying I love you. And I came up with a simple one, like, look out the window. And Morgan goes, or detonate the butter shed. And I'd be like, look out the window. All I hear is detonate the butter shed. And I was waiting for my sister or my mom to be like, why do you keep saying detonate the butter shed? What's a butter shed? But Morgan and I knew what it meant. Look out the window or detonate the butter shed. And it's just one way of us saying I love you.
Detonate the butter shed. Why you got such a big smile on your face? Because I just like saying it. Hey, look out the window. Hey, detonate the butter shed. Detonate the butter shed.